Love and work. Work and love, that's all there is. The goal of all life is death. Being entirely honest with oneself is a good exercise. I cannot think of any need in childhood as strong as the need for a father's protection. The mind is like an iceberg. It floats with 1/7 of its bulk above water. I have found little that is good about human beings on the whole. In my experience, most of them are trash, no matter whether they publicly subscribe to this or that ethical doctrine or to none at all. That is something that you cannot say aloud, or perhaps even think. A civilization which leaves so large a number of its participants unsatisfied and drives them into revolt neither has nor deserves the prospect of a lasting existence. Love and work are the cornerstones of our humanness. If a man has been his mother's undisputed darling, he retains throughout life the triumphant feeling, the confidence in success, which not seldom brings actual success along with it. If you can't do it, give up. We are never so defenseless against suffering as when we love. Dreams are often most profound when they seem the most crazy. The doctor should be opaque to his patients and, like a mirror, should show them nothing but what is shown to him. The conscious mind may be compared to a fountain playing in the sun and falling back into the great subterranean pool of subconscious from which it rises. Civilization began the first time an angry person cast a word instead of a rock. Men are strong so long as they represent a strong idea. They become powerless when they oppose it. The first requisite of civilization is that of justice. Every normal person, in fact, is only normal on the average. His ego approximates to that of the psychotic in some part or other, and to a greater or lesser extent. A man should not strive to eliminate his complexes, but to get into accord with them. They are legitimately what directs his conduct in the world. America is the most grandiose experiment the world has seen, but, I am afraid, it is not going to be a success. A man who has been the indisputable favorite of his mother keeps for life the feeling of a conqueror. What a distressing contrast there is between the radiant intelligence of the child and the feeble mentality of the average adult. The goal towards which the pleasure principle impels us of becoming happy is not attainable. Yet we may not, nay, cannot give up the efforts to come nearer to realization of it by some means or other. Children are completely egoistic. They feel their needs intensely and strive ruthlessly to satisfy them. Civilized society is perpetually menaced with disintegration through this primary hostility of men towards one another. It is impossible to overlook the extent to which civilization is built upon a renunciation of instinct. Anatomy is destiny. A certain degree of neurosis is of inestimable value as a drive, especially to a psychologist. Sadism is all right in its place, but it should be directed to proper ends. We believe that civilization has been created under the pressure of the exigencies of life at the cost of satisfaction of the instincts. The great question that has never been answered, and which I have not yet been able to answer, despite my 30 years of research into the feminine soul, is what does a woman want? If youth knew, if age could. Most people do not really want freedom, because freedom involves responsibility, and most people are frightened of responsibility. One is very crazy when in love. The ego is not master in its own house. Flowers are restful to look at. They have neither motions nor conflicts. He that has eyes to see and ears to hear may convince himself that no mortal can keep a secret. If his lips are silent, he chatters with his fingertips. Betrayal oozes out of him at every pore. The interpretation of dreams is the royal road to a knowledge of the unconscious activities of the mind. The first human who hurled an insult instead of a stone was the founder of civilization. The voice of the intellect is a soft one, but it does not rest until it has gained a hearing. The act of birth is the first experience of anxiety, and thus the source and prototype of the affect of anxiety. Neurosis is the inability to tolerate ambiguity. Everywhere I go I find that a poet has been there before me. Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. What we call happiness in the strictest sense comes from the preferably sudden satisfaction of needs which have been dammed up to a high degree. Just as no one can be forced into belief, so no one can be forced into unbelief. Whoever loves becomes humble. Those who love have, so to speak, pawned a part of their narcissism. America is a mistake, a giant mistake. Men are more moral than they think and far more immoral than they can imagine. The tendency to aggression is an innate, independent, instinctual disposition in man. It constitutes the powerful obstacle to culture. What progress we are making. In the Middle Ages they would have burned me. Now they are content with burning my books. Illusions commend themselves to us because they save us pain and allow us to enjoy pleasure instead. We must therefore accept it without complaint when they sometimes collide with a bit of reality against which they are dashed to pieces. Neurotics complain of their illness, but they make the most of it, and when it comes to talking it away from them they will defend it like a lioness her young. Religion is an illusion, and it derives its strength from the fact that it falls in with our instinctual desires. Where ID was, there ego shall be. The psychoanalysis of neurotics has taught us to recognize the intimate connection between wetting the bed and the character trait of ambition. Opposition is not necessarily enmity. It is merely misused and made an occasion for enmity. Man has, as it were, become a kind of prosthetic god. When he puts on all his auxiliary organs, he is truly magnificent. But those organs have not grown on him and they still give him much trouble at times. The psychical, whatever its nature may be, is itself unconscious. Which quote from Sigmund Freud did you find the most inspiring? Get involved and let us know in the comments down below. If you guys like this video, then be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Also, if you don't want to miss out on any new future videos, then be sure to click on the subscribe button and turn on the notification under this video so that you're notified the next time we upload a video on the best quotes from world-known famous personalities. Thank you for watching, and we will see you again in the next video. Goodbye.